My boyfriend of 3 years was leading a double life, which I found out in the most shocking way. I found deleted texts on his phone. Last week, I, 29F, discovered that my boyfriend, Alex, 31M, has been hiding a whole side of himself from me. I'm still trying to process everything, and I could really use some outside perspectives. I met Alex 3 years ago at a local gym where he worked as a personal trainer. I had just moved to Seattle after breaking up with my college boyfriend who cheated on me with one of our roommates. The betrayal left me with serious trust issues, so when Alex first started talking to me during my workouts, I kept my distance. He was patient, though. After my Tuesday evening classes, he'd often offer to spot me on the weights. He noticed I struggled with proper form on deadlifts and quietly corrected my technique without making me feel embarrassed. Unlike other trainers who seemed to be checking out their female clients, Alex maintained eye contact and focused on my progress. We started talking about everything from hiking trails around Seattle to our favorite podcasts. He remembered small details from our conversations, like when he brought me a bottle of that local kombucha I mentioned once. For 6 months, our interactions remained friendly but professional. Then one rainy Saturday, we both ended up at the same coffee shop. He invited me to sit with him, and we talked for 3 hours. By the end of that conversation, I agreed to go hiking with him the following weekend. That hike turned into dinner, which turned into movie nights, and before I knew it, we were officially dating. The relationship felt natural. Alex always checked in when he said he would. He remembered birthdays and anniversaries without reminders. When I caught a bad flu last winter, he brought over homemade soup and stayed to clean my apartment. During a particularly stressful period at work, he left encouraging notes in my gym bag. These weren't grand gestures, just consistent, thoughtful actions that made me feel secure. Last year, after dating for 2 years, we decided to move in together. We found an apartment about 10 minutes from the gym where he worked. Most evenings, we cooked dinner together while listening to those true crime podcasts we both enjoyed. Weekends were spent exploring different neighborhoods, trying out restaurants, and planning our future. Alex had this dream of opening his own fitness studio someday. With my background in marketing and his fitness expertise, it seemed like the perfect partnership. We opened a joint savings account that we jokingly called the Gym Fund. We contributed to it monthly, watching it grow with our shared dream. Just 3 weeks ago, we spent an entire Sunday sketching floor plans for our gym, debating equipment placement and class schedules. He wanted a smoothie bar in the corner. I suggested a recovery room with massage chairs. The plans felt real, tangible. Last Tuesday evening, I was folding laundry while Alex scrolled through his phone on our couch. He suddenly laughed and turned his screen toward me. It was a meme about fitness fails from someone named Vanessa. I recognized her name from conversations. She used to work at the same gym as Alex before transferring to a different location across town. I casually asked, "You still talk to Vanessa regularly?" He shrugged. "Not really. She just sends funny fitness stuff occasionally." I nodded and continued folding clothes, but something about his reaction seemed off. His shoulders tensed slightly, and he quickly turned his phone away. Later, when he went to take a shower, I noticed his phone on the coffee table. I've never been the snooping type. I've always believed relationships should be built on trust. But after what happened with my ex, something in my gut told me to check. I picked up his phone and opened his conversation with Vanessa. The message history was surprisingly short for people who supposedly shared content regularly. There were only about 10 messages, all from the past week, and all completely innocent. That's what struck me as strange. It looked like their history had been selectively deleted. When Alex came out of the bathroom, I confronted him. At first, he acted confused, like he didn't know what I was talking about. Then, as I pressed harder, his story changed. He admitted that Vanessa had been sending flirtatious messages for months, but claimed he deleted them because he didn't want to create unnecessary drama. He insisted he hadn't encouraged her behavior at all. His explanation didn't sit right with me. If he was truly trying to shut down unwanted advances, why delete the evidence? Why not just tell me about it? I asked if there was any way to retrieve the deleted messages, but he claimed that wasn't possible. Getting frustrated, I suggested sending a text to Vanessa from his phone. To my surprise, he agreed. I wrote a message as him, something casual about a fitness meme she'd sent earlier. Her response came quickly, and my stomach dropped as I read it. She referenced inside jokes I knew nothing about. She mentioned photos they'd exchanged recently. She asked when they could meet up like last time and added that she could wear that outfit you liked so much. Each message revealed more lies. After several exchanges that made it clear they had an ongoing relationship, I identified myself as Alex's girlfriend. Her response was immediate and shocking. "What girlfriend? Alex has been pursuing me for months." He told me he was single. When I confronted Alex with this information, his story changed yet again. He admitted to flirting with her but swore nothing physical had happened. Then he came up with the most outrageous excuse. He claimed he was planning a surprise for me. According to him, He knew I had once casually mentioned being curious about threesomes during a late-night conversation about fantasies, so he was setting something up with Vanessa. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Yes, we had talked about fantasies once, hypothetically, after watching a movie that touched on the subject. But I had clearly stated that while I was open to discussing such things, I wasn't ready to act on them and would need extensive communication before ever considering it. His behavior, the secrecy, the deleted messages, the lies, violated every boundary we'd established. Now Alex is begging for forgiveness. He promises to block Vanessa's number, to be completely transparent with his phone going forward, to do whatever it takes to fix this. But I keep thinking about those 3 years we spent building what I thought was a solid foundation. We talked about marriage. We talked about maybe having kids someday. We had a joint savings account for our future business. At the same time, I can't ignore these massive red flags. He lied repeatedly. He only admitted to things when directly confronted with evidence. He tried to manipulate the situation by using my own words against me. And I can't shake the feeling that if I hadn't caught him, this behavior would have continued or escalated. I keep remembering the day we met. I was struggling with a heavy barbell, and he walked over to help. "You're stronger than you think," he said. "Trust yourself." I wish I could go back and give that advice to myself now. Fitness was what brought us together. We motivated each other through tough workouts, celebrated personal records together, and planned active vacations like hiking the Pacific Crest Trail. I can't believe he would jeopardize all of that for inappropriate texts with a coworker. I've always considered myself an independent woman. After my previous relationship ended with cheating, I promised myself I wouldn't tolerate that kind of disrespect again. But now I find myself wondering if I'm overreacting. 3 years is a long time to throw away. The gym fund is almost $15,000 in it. Our lease doesn't end for another 8 months. My friends are divided. Some think I should hear him out, that this could be a misunderstanding blown out of proportion. Others say I should leave immediately, that trust once broken can never be fully repaired. I need objective advice. Am I overreacting? Is this something that can be worked through? How do I reconcile the man I thought I knew with the person who could lie to my face so easily? TL, caught my boyfriend of 3 years exchanging inappropriate messages with a former coworker. When confronted, his story kept changing. Now I don't know whether to try to repair the relationship or walk away. Update 1 first, I want to thank everyone who took the time to comment on my original post. Your perspectives helped me realize I needed more answers before making any decisions about my relationship with Alex. After reading through all the comments, I decided to reach out to Vanessa directly. I messaged her from my own phone and asked if she would meet me to talk. She agreed, and we arranged to meet at the coffee shop where Alex and I had our first real conversation. The irony wasn't lost on me as I sat at the same table where I first started falling for him. Vanessa arrived looking nervous but determined. She brought her phone and showed me months of message history with Alex, conversations going back over a year, long before I even knew she existed. What she revealed turned my world upside down. Alex and Vanessa hadn't just been flirting via text. They had been involved in a full physical relationship that began 2 years ago, when Alex and I had been dating for about a year. According to Vanessa, their physical relationship ended when she transferred to the other gym location, but the flirtatious texting continued on and off. The worst part? Alex had told Vanessa that his relationship with me was on the rocks and that he planned to end things with me soon. He painted a completely false picture of our relationship to her, making it sound like we were practically broken up already. As Vanessa shared these details, memories from 2 years ago came flooding back. There was a period when Alex became distant, canceling plans last minute, showing up late to dates, being less affectionate. He blamed it on stress from work and family issues. I had been so understanding during that time, even going out of my way to support him through what I thought was a difficult period. In reality, I was unknowingly giving him space to carry on an affair. Armed with this new information, I confronted Alex again. This time, faced with specific dates and details from Vanessa, he broke down. He admitted to the affair and to continuing emotional cheating afterward. His excuses ranged from feeling insecure about our relationship to fear of commitment. He swore that he truly loved me and that Vanessa meant nothing, but his actions spoke much louder than his words. Then something unexpected happened. I received a message from someone named Rebecca. She had seen my Reddit post, which had gained more traction than I expected. Rebecca introduced herself as Alex's ex-girlfriend from before he met me. We agreed to meet at a park near my apartment. As we walked along the paths, Rebecca told me her story. During their 2-year relationship, Alex had cheated on her multiple times with different women. She discovered the affairs by finding messages on his laptop. Each time she confronted him, he would use similar excuses to the ones he gave me, claiming he was planning surprises or trying to spice things up. Rebecca warned me that in her experience, Alex was unlikely to change. She had given him multiple chances, and each time he betrayed her trust again. What stuck with me was when she said, "Each time I forgave him, he just got better at hiding it. She described a cycle of discovery, tears, promises, and eventual betrayal that sounded painfully familiar. After speaking with both Vanessa and Rebecca, I felt like I was living in some kind of nightmare. The Alex I thought I knew didn't exist. The man who helped me rebuild my trust after a painful betrayal had been betraying me all along. All those memories of our relationship now seemed tainted, like discovering a painting you treasured was actually a forgery. With this evidence of a clear pattern of behavior spanning multiple relationships, I knew what I had to do. This wasn't a one-time mistake or a momentary lapse in judgment. This was a fundamental character flaw. The trust between us was irreparably broken. I packed essential items while Alex was at work and moved out. When he came home and found me leaving, he cycled between begging me to stay and accusing me of overreacting and betraying him by talking to Vanessa and Rebecca behind his back. His reaction only confirmed I was making the right decision. A truly remorseful person would understand my need for answers and would respect my choice, not try to manipulate me into staying. I'm currently staying with my sister while I figure out my next steps. The pain is still raw. I miss the life I thought we had, our morning runs, cooking dinner together while debating true crime theories, planning our future business. But alongside the pain, there's also relief. As several commenters pointed out, I dodged a bullet. Finding out now is better than finding out after marriage, kids, or starting that business together. Looking back, I'm grateful for the friends, family, and even strangers on the internet who reminded me of my worth and encouraged me to trust my instincts rather than Alex's manipulations. Your words gave me the strength to dig deeper and stand up for myself. For now, I'm focusing on rebuilding my life on my own terms. I've started journaling to process my thoughts. I'm considering taking a solo trip somewhere I've always wanted to visit. The gym still feels tainted by Alex's presence, but I'm determined not to let his betrayal rob me of something I love. I've been looking into kickboxing classes at a completely different fitness center. I'm taking it one day at a time. Some days are harder than others, but I'm holding on to the knowledge that I made the right decision, and that I'm stronger than I realized. TLDR, after talking to the other woman and Alex's ex-girlfriend, I discovered this wasn't a one-time mistake but a pattern of behavior across multiple relationships. I moved out and am working on rebuilding my life. Update 2: It's been a month since my last update, and so much has happened that I felt I needed to share. I've been seeing a therapist to work through the betrayal, focusing on my job, and reconnecting with friends I had neglected during my relationship with Alex. Then, about a week ago, I received a call from an unknown number. The woman on the other end introduced herself as Olivia. What she told me next left me speechless. Olivia is Alex's wife of 5 years. Yes, you read that right. Wife. A mutual acquaintance had shown her my Reddit post, and she wanted to talk to me about her husband's double life. We arranged to meet at a quiet park on the outskirts of town. I arrived early and sat on a bench, watching families play and couples stroll by. The scene felt so normal, so peaceful, and I wondered how my life had taken such an unexpected turn. When Olivia arrived, I immediately noticed her tired eyes despite her attempt at a brave smile. She was petite with auburn hair, professionally dressed like she had come straight from an office. After an awkward silence, we both started talking at once, and then couldn't stop. Our stories were disturbingly similar. Olivia and Alex had met in college, where they were the perfect couple, both athletic, popular, and ambitious. They married right after graduation, 5 years ago. According to Olivia, Alex's business trips and late nights at the gym started almost immediately after their honeymoon. The extent of his deception was staggering. He had maintained 2 completely separate relationships, with different friend groups and separate social media accounts. For me, he was Alex the personal trainer working toward opening his own gym. For Olivia, he was Alex the traveling fitness consultant whose job required frequent overnight trips. Olivia showed me photos, their wedding, holiday gatherings with her family, vacation snapshots. Then she pulled out something that made my stomach turn, an ultrasound image. Olivia is 4 months pregnant with their first child. I felt physically sick as I realized the implications. All those times Alex and I had talked about starting a family someday, his actual wife was already carrying his child. All those weekends when he canceled our plans due to family emergencies or certification workshops, he was with his wife. All those nights he didn't answer my texts because he was at the gym without his phone, he was home with Olivia. We spent hours comparing notes, discovering that Alex had used identical lines and excuses with both of us. The most unsettling revelation came when Olivia touched the silver pendant necklace around her neck, an exact match to one Alex had given me on our first anniversary, claiming it was a family heirloom passed down from his grandmother. I had taken mine off the day I moved out of our apartment. Despite the painful circumstances, Olivia and I formed an unexpected bond. There was something therapeutic about sharing our experiences with the only other person who truly understood the magnitude of Alex's deception. We were both angry and hurt, but there was comfort in knowing neither of us was alone in this. Olivia told me she's filing for divorce and moving back in with her parents. Her priority now is her baby. Despite tears streaming down her face, her voice was firm when she said she couldn't raise her child in a home built on lies. For me, this final revelation brought a strange sense of closure. Any lingering doubts or what-ifs were thoroughly eliminated. I now understand that the Alex I loved never existed. He was a carefully crafted persona designed to manipulate and deceive. I've decided to take some time completely for myself. Next month, I'm starting a solo trip abroad, something I've always wanted to do but never prioritized. I want to rediscover who I am outside of the lies of my relationship with Alex. If there's any advice I can offer from this experience, it's to trust your instincts. When something feels off, it usually is. The truth might be painful, but it's better than living in a beautifully constructed lie. My path forward isn't entirely clear yet, but for the first time in a long time, I feel like I'm headed in the right direction. TLDR, discovered my ex-boyfriend was actually married the entire time we were together, and his wife is pregnant. We're both leaving him and moving forward with our lives. Update 3: I'm writing this final update from a small cafe in Barcelona. What started as a plan for a brief trip abroad turned into a prolonged journey of self-discovery. Before I share where I am now, there's one last chapter of the Alex saga that I need to close. Before I left the country, Olivia and I decided to confront Alex together. We met at the park near their house, the same park where he had proposed to Olivia years before, and where he had once hinted at proposing to me. The look on Alex's face when he saw us both sitting together on that bench was unforgettable. For once, his charm and ready excuses failed him. He was completely speechless. When he finally did speak, he alternated between apologizing profusely and accusing us of ganging up on him. Watching him there, this man who had once seemed so confident and in control, I saw him clearly for what he was, an insecure person desperately trying to maintain control through deception. Any remaining feelings I had for him vanished in that moment. After saying what we needed to say, Olivia and I walked away together, leaving Alex alone on that bench to face the consequences of his actions. With that final confrontation behind me, I threw myself into preparing for my trip. I sold most of my possessions, keeping only what would fit in a backpack. The day before leaving, I returned to the original gym where I had met Alex. I completed one last, intense workout, pushing myself to exhaustion. Walking out of those doors felt like leaving behind more than just a building. My journey began in Ireland, where I hiked through green hills and learned to pour a proper pint of Guinness from a friendly bartender. From there, I traveled across Europe, finding different lessons in each place. I walked part of the Camino de Santiago in Spain, using the long stretches of solitude to reflect on my past and future. In Italy, an elderly woman taught me to make pasta from scratch, the repetitive motion becoming a form of meditation. In Greece, I danced until dawn with strangers who became friends, rediscovering a sense of freedom I hadn't felt in years. Throughout my travels, I've stayed in touch with Olivia. She had her baby girl 2 months ago. Her divorce is proceeding, and she's focused on being a mother. Her strength through all of this has been truly remarkable. This trip has transformed me in ways I never expected. With each new city, each new challenge, I've rebuilt my confidence. I pushed my physical limits by surfing in Portugal and rock climbing in the French Alps. Yoga sessions on a Bali beach helped me reconnect with my body in a healthy way, free from the toxic environment of my past. Along the way, I've met incredible people, fellow travelers with their own stories of heartbreak and healing, locals who opened their homes and hearts, and even a charming Spanish artist who reminded me that there are good people in the world. Though I'm not ready for a relationship, these connections have been healing in their own way. These months of travel have taught me the importance of self-reliance and putting myself first. I've learned that my happiness can't depend on another person, and that's okay. I've discovered new passions I never knew I had: travel writing, photography, and even salsa dancing. The dream of opening a fitness studio with Alex is gone, but new possibilities have emerged. I've been volunteering at a community center here in Barcelona, teaching fitness classes to children from disadvantaged backgrounds. This unexpected path has given me a sense of purpose I wasn't looking for. As for what's next, I'm not entirely sure. I might extend my trip for a few more months, or perhaps stay in Barcelona and teach English. The uncertainty doesn't frighten me anymore, it excites me. I want to thank everyone who supported me through this journey with their comments and messages. Your words gave me strength when I needed it most. To anyone going through something similar, know that there is light ahead. Trust yourself, find supportive people, and don't be afraid to start over. What feels like the end of your world can actually be the beginning of something new and unexpected. Sitting here in this cafe, listening to the sounds of Barcelona street life, I feel a sense of peace I haven't known in years. Life has a funny way of working out. What I thought was the worst thing to happen to me turned out to be the push I needed toward a more authentic life. I don't know where I'll be 6 months from now, but for the first time in a long time, I'm looking forward to finding out. TLDR, confronted my ex with his wife, then embarked on a solo trip abroad that turned into a 6-month journey of healing and self-discovery. Found new passions and purpose along the way.